Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Nordlinger of the Renew Democracy Initiative and its publication, The Next Move. We will be holding our Frontlines of Freedom conference, known as FOFCON, in Washington on December 9th and 10th. Dissidents from all over, with various others, will discuss that most urgent of topics: freedom, democracy, and human rights. In that mix is Rushan Abbas, founder of the organization Campaign for Uyghurs. So good to see you, Rushan, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jay. It's great to see you.
You've been in the West, in the United States in particular, for many, many years. Are you tired of answering the question, what's a Uyghur? Do you have to answer that question maybe every week?
I do, but I never get tired. I have to keep telling people, keep educating people. Um, it became a part of my life in the last 36 years of living in the United States.
hmm Do you have a short answer for people to what's a Uyghur? Do you have a practiced answer by now?
Do you want a long one or short one? You
We'll
said
take the short
short.
one today. Yeah.
Okay. The Uyghurs, predominantly Muslims living in Central Asia for thousands of years. We have completely distinct culture, language, and identity and history. People know the ancient Silk Road, which starts from my homeland. And now, since 1949, it is under the occupation of Chinese Communist Party after the establishment of People's Republic of China.
Hmm. When you were growing up, well, first, what language did you speak at home?
We spoke Uyghur. Yes, when I was growing up, actually, the Uyghur language was the main language teaching at schools. So,
Mm. hmm And tell a little about your family. Your dad was or is prominent, correct?
yes, a prominent, respected scientist. He is one of the very first people to travel to Beijing, and they studied in Beijing Pedagogic University. His major was biology, and he is specialized on the genetic engineering.
I see. And did you come to the United States for your college education or before?
I graduated university in biology myself too. Then I came to United States in May 1989 as a visiting scientist, visiting scholar at the Washington State University. Then I continued my education there at the WSU in northwest part of United States on the plant pathology.
Hmm. Well, Rushan, genocide is a big word, very big word. And are you confident, are we confident that the Chinese government is carrying out a genocide against the Uyghur people? I believe the State Department made that designation in maybe January 2021.
Absolutely, Jay. The Chinese government is committing full-fledged active genocide on the Uyghurs right now. And this is undeniable and is still continuing. The United States, as you mentioned, and the legislators from several other countries, altogether almost like I think 11 or 12 countries, and the parliaments recognize this and they confirm that what China is doing is genocide. And also the independent London Tribunal reached the genocide conclusion.
Yeah.
If you look at every international recognized definition of genocide, from Geneva Convention to United Nations to the research of genocide scholars like Gregory Stanton and his 10 stages of genocide, the pattern is unmistakable. This is
Mhm.
genocide in multiple forms, what the Beijing is doing. It's genocide through mass detention, family separation, destruction of culture, and it's also genocide through the suppression of birth rates and the effort to eliminate the entire population over the time.
Mm.
The intent is there and the actions are there, and it through Uyghur women subject to forced sterilization, forced abortions, forced marriages to Han Chinese men. Uyghur birth rate dropped down to 0% in some of the most Uyghurs populated areas. And the
Yeah.
Chinese embassy actually publicly celebrated those genocidal efforts by tweeting a couple of years ago saying Uyghur women are no longer baby making machines.
Yeah. Well, I've spoken with many Uyghurs in the United States and the West generally in the last 7, 8 years. And I try to slip into your shoes. It's hard, but I just think about how you wake up in the morning, you get dressed, do your hair, and you must want to shake everyone on the street by the shoulders. You just must want to say, let me tell you what is happening to my people back home. This horrific thing is going on. It's a genocide. It's an emergency. It's urgent. Please wake up and at least know about it. There must be a great just a desire to let people know or make people know what is happening, even if they don't or can't do anything about it.
Absolutely. It's frustrating. After several years, we are still here trying to convince people that China is the enemy of humanity. China is the enemy of freedom and the democracy of the world. And China is eliminating the entire nation in East Turkestan, in my homeland. And China is conducting genocide. And for me, Jay, I, I wake up every day with my sister's photo. This is my sister, Gulshan Abbas, a retired medical doctor. Today, if I'm speaking to you or traveling around the world and trying to um, educate people around the world about what Beijing is doing to my people, I am doing it at the cost of my own sister's freedom. When I spoke out about China's genocidal policies at Hudson Institute in September 2018, the Chinese government took my sister to silence me. That's how much they are afraid of the truth, Jay. They don't want people to speak out. They don't want the world to find out. That's why more I travel around the world, more I talk to people, more I realize the need of educating people. China has built the most advanced system of repression in modern history,
Mhm.
and the global accountability has not kept pace.
Where's your sister? Do you know?
My sister is in jail. My
Mhm.
sister is in jail since September 2018, more than 7 years. Innocent, innocent woman, a retired medical doctor, living very ordinary life, not a political person. And she's in jail because of me.
Is anyone in the family able to communicate with her?
No, no
Mhm.
one is able to visit her because Chinese government is denying anyone to come and visit, and they are saying it has to be immediate family members. She doesn't have any immediate family members over there.
Mhm.
My parents passed away, and we are four siblings. Three of us, we live in the United States. She's all alone there. And she has two daughters. They both live in the United States. So she doesn't have any direct immediate family members, but other distant relatives tried to go and visit her in the jail where she's being held at. The Chinese government is denying any access. And US embassy in Beijing tried to have access to her, go visit her, but Chinese government is denying any kind of access.
Rushan, if you had your way, that's a big statement, right? If you had your way, what would democratic governments, free world governments do?
Democratic government must treat this crisis as a priority if they want to defend the human rights and their own values, because as I always say, Jay, this is no longer about the Uyghurs' future. What Chinese government is doing is not staying within their borders. Um, China is not just being enemy of the Uyghurs or Tibetans, or doing these horrible things to Uyghurs or Tibetans or Hong Kongers, or being threat to democracy in Taiwan. They are being threat to democracy all around the world. For example, forced labor. Um, you know, the Chinese genocide, the Chinese authoritarian regime is actually making all democracies, including United States and Europe, not just complicit, but enablers of this genocide. Because the US set an important precedent with the bipartisan Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, but it's only a start, and still the companies are continuously doing business with China, enabling China's economy to murder more people. And we need a coordinated enforcement of UFLPA. Forced labor should not be hidden by rerouting goods through third countries. Democracies must build a shared system with EU, Canada, UK, Australia, and so the companies cannot escape accountability by shifting supply chains. And international institutions, democracies must also confront China's influence at the global bodies. A government detaining millions of people cannot just sit on the UN human rights panels. They should demand independent access to the Uyghur region and refuse those staged propaganda tours meant to control abuses. And the places like Princeton University and many other US institutions and the universities actually going along with those propaganda tours and coming back and being the CCP's mouthpiece. Those must stop. Transnational repression, as I told you, Jay, my sister's case, an American, Uyghur American speaking, exercising her freedom of speech in the United States should not cost the freedom of her sister's, should not cost her sister's freedom. My sister should not be in jail. All the Uyghurs, all the Tibetans, all the Hong Kongers who are speaking out should not be punished as a part of China's transnational repression, China's intimidation of Uyghurs and Tibetans and Hong Kongers, all the people who are speaking out against the CCP, including in the US and Europe, all around, must be treated as a national security threat and as a criminal act. Democracies should strengthen the protection of those people being targeted on their own soil. And the refugees, actually another case. Seems like there's nothing anybody can do for Uyghur people back home. But with the families separated and millions missing, democratic countries should create some sort of fast-track refugee pathways and the family reunifications programs for Uyghurs cut off from loved ones. Canada has M62 program bringing Uyghur refugees to Canada, and they already started. Few hundred Uyghurs arrived. In the United States, we don't have like thousands of people, just a couple hundred Uyghur people still waiting for years for their political asylum cases. That should speed up. People are facing genocide. We have three governments. First Trump administration, Secretary Pompeo declared it's genocide, what's happening to Uyghurs. And then Biden administration, Blinken also confirmed that it's genocide. And their Secretary Rubio, since his confirmation on January 15th, he confirmed it 3 times on the statements, what's happening to Uyghurs is genocide. Then there should be some sort of responsibility to protect the Uyghur people. And also tech companies, Jay, I'm so frustrated with tech companies, their complicity. US and also other democratic governments must restrict the export of technology used for repression, surveillance tools, DNA equipments, and the advanced software to fuel China's control system. And no democratic nation should allow its companies to assist in building it and directly or indirectly helping with this genocide.
Rushan Abbas, say something about Radio Free Asia, that US broadcaster, and its importance to the Uyghurs. I believe you yourself have worked for RFA. I'm not sure whether RFA is still going at the moment.
Yes, Radio Free Asia is extremely important as one and the only free voice for the Uyghur people. And I was the first Uyghur reporter when the Radio Free Asia Uyghur service launched in 1998. I worked for 3 years there before I resigned and moved back to California for family reasons. This is, as I mentioned, one and the only independent Uyghur language source reaching people trapped behind China's firewall, including all the um, 500,000 people in Central Asia. This is like nowhere in the world there is a free media, free voice for Uyghurs, but Radio Free Asia Uyghur Service.
Mhm.
That's why, in a place where telling the truth can be punishment, RFA has been a lifeline, RFA Uyghur Service, and also exposing China's genocide. RFA Uyghur Service did an amazing job. And they provide credible news in our own language, while every domestic outlet is censored and monitored. People don't get free media in anywhere. And actually, many families learn what happened to a missing relative through Radio Free Asia Uyghur Service, including myself. I learned from Radio Free Asia Uyghur Service that my sister was sentenced for 20 years. And Radio Free Asia confirmed that. So basically, RFA does more than just the report news. RFA Uyghur Service is one of the very few platforms that are able to expose CCP's abuses from a region that's sealed off from the world, providing real-time information vital to the global security. And they actually uncovered the mass detention first, and they also exposed the crematorias being built next to the concentration camps for a culture doesn't believe cremation. So shutting down Radio Free Asia Uyghur Service actually hands a victory for Xi Jinping, hands a victory to Beijing.
Yes, that is clear. Well, just to remind people, we're talking with Rushan Abbas, ABBAS, who founded the organization Campaign for Uyghurs. Rushan, I think I don't like the phrase ordinary people because everyone is extraordinary, right? But what can ordinary people in the free world do to anything? Write their congressman, tell a neighbor? I mean, I speak with so many people who just want to do something, but they're unsure as to what.
Yeah. Jay, this is such a critical question because many people answer differently. I could answer this as what the ordinary people could do for Uyghur people. That's important, of course, for people to use their power as consumers when they purchase goods. Like 84% of China's cotton produced by Uyghur slaves' blood, sweat, and tears because they come from our region. Tomatoes and your pasta, seafood that you eat, your favorite Zara bags or Nike shoes, all these are tainted with Uyghur slaves' blood, sweat, and tears. So those are the important things that ordinary people could do. They can provide us platforms for us to talk and educate the general public. Just amplify our voices, follow us on social media, and they share the information. But I want to bring up something actually more important, what the ordinary people could do. I wish the world understand that what's happening to the Uyghurs is not an isolated tragedy. It is a warning. The Chinese Communist Party is not only targeting my people or what they did to Tibetans or how they demolished the democracy in Hong Kong and how it's being threatened to Taiwan. But it's perfecting a model of control that threatens the rights and the freedoms of every society on earth. The CCP has built the most advanced system of surveillance and repression ever created. It combines artificial intelligence, facial recognition, forced DNA collection, censorship, and behavioral scoring to decide who deserves freedom and who should disappear from the earth, either into the camps or prison or just disappear by, who knows what happened to them. What they refine in the Uyghur homeland is already being exported. Governments from Middle East to Africa, Latin America, and the Southeast Asia and Central Asia, everywhere they are adopting Chinese-made cameras, data systems, and the cyber tools to monitor their own citizens. Not only that, the Chinese government is basically spreading the influence all around the world. So I want people to know that CCP's ambition are not just limited to its territory or within their borders. They use economic pressure, propaganda, and disinformation to influence universities, media, and the political institutions in free countries. So they are controlling all around the world. Look at it, Jay. Something like this is happening to Uyghur people. Uyghur women are being subject to such atrocity while their bodies being the battleground of this genocide. Where are the feminists around the world? Where are the Hollywood celebrities or famous superstars, NBA superstars, or famous talk show hosts? Everybody are silent because they are afraid of China. They are afraid of China's retaliation. They are afraid of losing money in their businesses. So if we lose, if we censor ourselves and if we cannot stand for justice, then where our future is going to go. And I always say, Jay, if we don't speak out now, the only voice left will be one of regret because you, me, whoever listening to us today, we are all responsible for what happens next.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been listening to Rushan Abbas of the Campaign for Uyghurs. I'm Jay Nordlinger of the Renew Democracy Initiative and its publication, The Next Move. A reminder, our Frontlines of Freedom Conference, or FOFCON, will be in Washington on December 9th and 10th. Rushan, I look forward to speaking with you again, and let me just say, thank you for not giving up. Thank you for getting out of bed every day and doing it. I appreciate you,
Jay.
admire you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.